We talk about this. We want to bring in our great friend, Tennessee Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator Blackburn, thank you very much. This story just broke. I know you're looking at it yourself. First of all, let me just ask you, what are you thinking? Am I being too tough on them or what?
Well, first of all, Joe Biden needs to realize he is not the master of the universe. He's not president of Ukraine. He can't go in here and say, hey, you got to turn all this territory over. This is amazing, but look at what they're doing, Larry. It doesn't matter if it is the Biden administration's actions in Afghanistan, the way that China is acting toward Hong Kong, the way they're threatening Taiwan, the way they're being more aggressive in the South China Sea. You have these dictators, these autocrats who are out here, and what are they doing? They see that Joe Biden is weak. He is not going to fight them. And so now they're getting really aggressive, and they're trying to expand their territory because they know, oh, Joe, man, oh, Joe, he's just going to say, come on, man, let's all be friends. Let's not fight about this. Let's go ahead and let's give Russia this territory. Let's give Russia the Nord Stream 2. This is weakness personified. Now, remember, back during Obama-Biden, when Russia started pressing Crimea, you had Obama-Biden send the Ukraine people blankets and meals ready to eat. You have Donald Trump that came in and he sent them bombs and artillery so that they could fight and defend themselves. So Joe Biden needs to be tough with Putin. Senator Graham's exactly right. You have across-the-board sanctions, not only on the country, but on the oligarchs, so that you're saying you can't do this. And if you continue the buildup, guess what? It is going to get worse for you. With Iran, you've got the Biden administration trying to cozy up and trying to say, let's restart the Iran nuke deal, when what is Iran trying to do? They're trying to enrich uranium so that they can manufacture nuclear weapons. You have China. Look at what they're doing with hypersonics, how they're more closely aligning their commercial and their military sectors so that they can be globally dominant by the time you get to 2050. I tell you what, Hunter Biden, Biden Incorporated with Joe Biden, they are so intertwined with Russia, with Ukraine, with China, with all these business deals, with selling Hunter's art, that they cannot step back from that and defend the United States of America and our people and our interest worldwide.
You know, Senator Blackburn, appeasement is a highly charged, toxic word. But yes, to me, I don't know if this AP report is right or not. But if that is the case, if we are saying to the Ukraine, no NATO, and if we are saying to the Ukraine, you're going to have to give up the territories in the eastern part, which, by the way, they may speak Russian, doesn't mean they want to be ruled by Russia. But if we say to them, you're going to have to cede that territory, those are Putin's requests. We're basically meeting Putin's requests. I don't see how that is possible. How can we let that happen?
It is inconceivable. And if this report is correct, then what you have is now twice where Joe Biden has been involved with Ukraine and Russia. And what do? They pivot to support Russia instead of providing Ukraine what it needs to defend itself and its territory. And this, I'm sure, and here's one of the things, Larry. If the United States of America does not stand up and defend freedom, nobody else is. Nobody else is. So all the bullies and the bad guys, they're the ones that are going to pick up territory and they're going to increase their power. We cannot let this happen. We have to provide for the common defense of our country, and we have to take steps to defend our people and our freedom.
You mentioned Lindsey Graham's proposal last night on the show. he said that the military buildup is bad enough. We need to fight back on that. And I just, I had been saying earlier that we should put the sanctions back on Nord Stream 2. But Lindsay went further, saying across the board, banking, finance, oligarchs, raw material. I think he's right. I mean, we have to take an action here, don't we?
Yes, we do have to take an action, and you can't just have it on Nord Stream 2. What you do have to do is lock down their economy. Put the sanctions there on their economic actions. Put it on the oligarchs and let them know, no, you're not going to do this. They have amassed, Russia has amassed nearly 200,000 troops on that border. They are moving equipment and artillery there. We know the number of warheads that Russia has. So we cannot allow Russia to continue this build-up, and we cannot allow the Ukraine to be there and not provide them, like President Trump did, provide them with what they need to defend themselves.
I mean, economic sanctions can be a very useful weapon. Way back during the Reagan years, we used a lot of sanctions on then the Soviet Union. Sanctions all over the place to thwart their trade, to thwart their economy.
Right.
It's not like we're not sending troops in, but sanctions can be very powerful. Let me just, in the remaining moments, you of course mentioned China. Do you think the so-called diplomatic boycott of the Winter Olympic Games is a sufficient move? Now, it looks like it's gaining steam, but I just wondered what you're thinking is. We haven't heard a word about the tennis player yet. None of that's been resolved. So how's this going to play out?
Well, and no, it is a half measure at best. And for months now, I've been saying our athletes ought not to go to Beijing. We should do the Olympic Freedom Games here in the United States so that they have the ability to compete. But Larry, we cannot be sure that our athletes' health, their safety, their well-being, their security, their economic freedom is going to be protected if they go into China knowing that China is going to be pushing their digital yuan during these Olympics, knowing that our athletes are going to be there, and I've just got a lot of concerns about this. I do have an op-ed up on foxnews.com right now about this very issue. It should be a total and complete boycott. We ought not to give Xi Jinping the ability to stand there and welcome the world to Beijing for these games.
And finally, to put the two together, Ukraine, China, if the Biden administration gives Ukraine away and says, no NATO, we're not going to back you, what's that mean for China and Taiwan? It can't be good.
No, it cannot be good. And already, when you look at these calls that the president has had, you have Xi Jinping that requested a call, you have Putin that requested a call. So what I think they're doing is sizing up what his response to them is going to be as they become more aggressive. And that is a very dangerous place for the United States to be. And I will add, it is dangerous for the cause of freedom on the face of the earth.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Couldn't agree more. Thank you, Senator Marsha Blackburn. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Larry.
All right.